You ever mess around with an AI tool and just stop and wonder, how on earth did it come up with that? Yeah, it's a feeling we've all had. Right now, AI can feel a lot like a magic trick, you know? It's this powerful, mysterious black box where we see the input, we see the output, but everything in between is totally hidden.
But what if it wasn't a magic trick at all? What if the AI could actually pull back the curtain and show you its homework, step by step? Well, that's the big idea we're going to dig into today. We're looking at a whole new approach designed to make AI, well, explain itself.
So let's start with that fundamental challenge. People in the field call it the black box problem. We can see what goes in, we can see what comes out. But that whole process in the middle, it's a complete mystery. And this, right here, really lays out the two different worlds we're talking about. Over on the left, you've got the old way, these giant single models called monolithic LLMs. They are, for all intents and purposes, opaque black boxes. You can't really audit them. But on the right, that's the goal. That's interpretable AI. It's a transparent glass box where we can actually see all the gears turning inside.
Okay, so how do we actually build that glass box? Well, the answer seems to be this new design philosophy. It's called Explicit Orchestrated Decision Design, or EODD for short. And really, it's a whole new way of building AI systems, where transparency isn't an afterthought, it's the entire point from day one.
The core concept here is actually kind of brilliant in its simplicity. Instead of relying on one gigantic, all-knowing AI brain to do absolutely everything, EODD breaks the problem down. So you can think of it less like a single lone genius and more like a super efficient assembly line, or maybe a project team, where every single member is a specialist with one very specific job to do. And here's how that actually works in practice. First up, you take a really complex task and you break it down into smaller, logical, manageable steps. Simple enough, right? Then you deploy these specialized AI agents for each one of those steps. You might have one for reasoning, another one for drafting, and you even have one whose only job is to be an ethics reviewer. And finally, and this is the absolute key, every single move, every decision is recorded. This creates something called a decision trace, which is basically a perfect, auditable paper trail of the AI's entire thought process.
Now, this whole method is really built on three foundational pillars, and they're all designed for one thing: to build our confidence and trust in what the system produces. These aren't just features you can toggle on or off. They are the core principles that make the whole thing work.
So pillar number one is interpretability. Because of that decision trace we just talked about, you can follow the logic from the very beginning all the way to the end. You can see exactly how the AI got to its conclusion, which replaces all that guesswork with a clear, structured explanation. No more mystery.
Next up, pillar 2, trustworthiness. And honestly, this is a real game changer. The EODD method basically bakes safety right into the process. It uses these separate standalone agents whose only job is to check for ethical problems and make sure the output aligns with our human values. They're like these autonomous little gatekeepers, a built-in safety check that runs before any final decision is ever made.
And the third pillar, well, it might just be the most critical one of all: human oversight. The bottom line is, no matter how clever these agents are, the human is always in charge. The entire system is designed from the ground up to give you, the user, the absolute power to look at everything, to challenge it, and to step in at any point in the process.
You know, this idea of keeping a human in the loop is so fundamental, it really deserves its own moment here. This is not just some optional feature. It's a non-negotiable core principle of the entire design. This system is built to augment what we can do, not to replace us.
I mean, this quote from the system's creators, it says it all, doesn't it? Human agency is never bypassed. It's a direct promise that at the end of the day, your judgment, our judgment, will always have the final say.
So what does that control actually look like for you, the user? Well, think of it like your own personal control panel. You can inspect the AI's work step by step. If you see a conclusion or a piece of reasoning you don't agree with, you can challenge it. And ultimately, you have the final power to override anything it comes up with. You're the final editor, period.
All right, so let's zoom out for a second and just look at the bigger picture. Why does any of this really matter? Well, this shift from these mysterious black boxes to transparent, auditable systems, it has absolutely massive implications for how we're going to build and trust AI in the future.
And get this isn't just some theory stuck in a lab. Researchers and experts in really important fields like law and medicine are already using these principles to build the next wave of AI tools.
It gives them the power to create these incredibly specialized and, most importantly, safe systems. And they can do it without having to be an expert coder.
And that really brings us to a final crucial thought. For years we've been obsessed with what AI can do. But maybe the better question is, what will we be comfortable letting it do? When a system is totally transparent, when we can see and check every single step it takes, it completely changes the nature of trust. So the question isn't just about making AI smarter, it's about making it understandable. When AI can finally show its work, what new frontiers are we going to be willing to explore together?